Hey, Gratuitous here from itsgratuitous.com. I'm really excited to make this video about how I've set up the FabFilter Pro-C compressor with my M Audio Oxygen Pro template for FL Studio for this hands-on experience based off of the drum pads, the knobs, and the sliders. And if you have purchased my M Audio Oxygen Pro template, this is the package you receive, and you actually get my global links file, this FL mapping file. And this file right here shares how to install it. And so if you right-click any of these knobs, you can see that I have customized these I've really fine-tuned them. This has taken me a lot of time to figure out how I want to get my exact setup based off of these knobs. So again, you get this file for this exact FabFilter experience if you have FabFilter plugins, if you use FL Studio, and if you have the Oxygen Pro template. This is the experience you will get, okay? Now, what is a global link? First of all, you have to be focused on the plugin, and when you move the knob, you can see it's blue. That means that no matter what project I'm in FL Studio, this plugin is set up for me for this hands-on mixing. So let me show you how this works, okay? Because this gives me a really fun hands-on experience in FL Studio for hands-on mixing with Pro-C. So the first knob is your threshold, okay? And I've set this up where it's like you can't go lower than this because typically I usually don't go lower than 40 decibels kind of thing. It's not very often I'm bringing the threshold all the way down. So typically I don't go much lower than this. And this is how I've set this stuff up for like a really cool hands-on experience. So the first knob does threshold, next knob does ratio, next knob does the attack and the release. And what's really powerful about this is you can adjust two things at once. Now, another thing that makes these mixing plugins a little bit different than the generators is I actually implemented the sliders quite a bit with this too. I'm just going to move this over here. So this first slider does the volume. You can see this. So we can't go below 0 because with compression, audio is being compressed. So we're always going to be wanting to increase the volume. So slamming it all the way to the bottom is 0. We can bring it up and you get 8 decibels of gain. And this allows you just to be you can really fine tune that volume control. The next one is off and on for that fair volume comparison. And so, let's say compression's happening, you get that sweet spot, then you can turn it off and on, okay? The next one, that one does your compressor style. So this has been really cool for that hands-on mixing because when I use my mouse, many times I don't try different styles of compression, but when I'm in the hands-on mode, I'm listening more with my ears. And so I'm thinking to myself like, well, do you know what? Let's try a different style of compression. And we can go everywhere from the clean all the way down to the pumping, which as you can see, here's all our options, right? The next one does the auto release. So I can turn that off and on with the slider. Okay. The next one does, I think the auto gain. So sometimes auto gain is useful, but sometimes it's not. Like sometimes it's inaccurate. For myself, I find a lot of the times that when you adjust the attack, the auto gain starts increasing volume, even if you're not compressing more. So a lot of times I find myself not having the auto gain on. And so that's it for the slider. So we have volume, we have off and on, we have the style of compression, we have the auto release, we have the look ahead. Okay, so that this one enables and disables. Sorry, I forgot that one. And then this one does the auto gain. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to the knobs. We have the threshold, the ratio, the attack, the release. We have the knee. Okay, so you can see the knees right there. And so what does the knee do? So let's go to like 72. And so let's be very aggressive. And so the knee, how this works is compression actually has to go over, let's say -12. Okay, so if audio goes over -12, then compression happens. But with a soft knee, you can see compression's actually happening below -12. And so it's really nice to have this as on the knob because you can adjust it however you want, okay? The next one is the look ahead, but again, you have to make sure that the look ahead, the slider is enabled. So if it's grayed out, look ahead is not there. If it's enabled, look ahead works. Now, what is look ahead? It looks before the signal. So for example, if you have a very fast attack, but it's not fast enough, like for example, let's say you had a vocal and there's like a lot of like T's or a lot of kind of like aggressive stuff happening, you can be very aggressive on your look ahead and it will clamp down on those harsh transients more so, okay? That's what look ahead is going to do for you. And so again, there's your look ahead. Here's your hold. Hold what that does is once the compression's happening, it holds and then the release kicks in. So it just gives you more control. And then this one right here is the range. So what is range? Let's say you're compressing really hard and you like the way it sounds, but maybe certain words in the vocal are compressing too much. You can actually pull back your range a little bit so that you can kind of have more control on the maximum amount of compression with your aggressive settings. Okay. And that gives a phenomenal workflow in, with compression in FL Studio. Now, to take it to the next level, this is where the drum pad workflow comes in, where let's say we are getting our hands on mixing, let's say we tried pumping, we are really aggressive, but we're like, you know what? It's not doing what we want. We can save the state. Okay, that's the purple button. Now, let's just say we want to we want to try a different style of compression. Let's say clean. Let's say we want to open up that attack a little bit. Let's say we want to be a little less aggressive. Let's say a very, very soft knee. So I can flip in between those two states with this green button. Now you have to make sure that you are saving the state first, then you can flip it. And I'm telling you, this has just made compression and EQ and even limiting, essentially all mixing plugins in FL Studio with this Oxygen Pro FL Studio template give you this experience, okay? So that is how I set up Pro-C 2 with the M Audio Oxygen Pro template for FL Studio by GratuiTous. It has made compressing so much fun and fast, and it really allows me to push, try things that I would never usually try with just a mouse. Because again, when we have a mouse, we can only do one thing at a time. When you're hands on, like I could be changing my threshold, I could be changing the style of compression at the same time. So it just gives a really cool workflow experience. Again, if you are interested in this workflow, you would need FL Studio, you need the M Audio Oxygen Pro, as well as you need my M Audio Oxygen Pro FL Studio template, which can be found at itsgratuitous.com. Let me know if you have any questions. You can send me an email at hi@itsgratuitous.com.